RNG decide to ban out the Twisted Fate or the Rek'Sai. It's going to be Twisted Fate they go for here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Throw a little bit more pressure towards Dade. See what he has in store.
Means Rek'Sai is left available. Swift could pick that one up if he chooses to.
Would give over Jhin, who has seen a lot of priority in this draft so far.
Yep, now both Uzi and Happy have played a single game on Jhin. Newbee really taking their time with their first pick here. They want to go for the Rek'Sai, which could leave Jhin open and available for Uzi.
Makes sense. Rek'Sai has actually really good gank paths on blue side. You're able to get down into the bottom lane and affect early gank, so you know that that's what you want to do to upset RNG. Something that mlxg uses incredibly well on his Rek'Sai when he picks it up.
That's going to be locked in here for Swift. Ooh. No! They swap it on over towards Jhin as their first pickup here, giving it over towards Happy.
I'm the happiest man in the world. The Jhin call, it was a bold one. But you know, I stuck to it, Fish. And it's coming back to reap so many rewards.
You make sure you tune into every single one, every single correct prediction. You know?
Yep.
Tune out the ones you don't get right.
Hey, exactly right. I play the percentages, my friend. I make many bold predictions and then hope some come through so I don't look like an idiot.
Well, RNG on the flip side, they've gone for the Trundle and Rek'Sai as their first two picks. They do get two power pick rotations on that side. And let's see what Newbee decides to pick up next here.
And Lupus Trundle is very impressive. There's things like Swain available for V to be able to take into the top lane against it. The danger is that mlxg will gank it pretty early. Of course, because of the symmetry of Summoner's Rift, he will have some pretty cool gank paths into the top lane, being on the red side.
Let's see how he utilizes them. Still waiting for the next two picks to come out from Newbee. Then we're looking at Elise or Nidalee here. They do lock in Nidalee, so Swift opting to pick up that champion here today. And Thresh is going to be Moore's champion supports coming into this game.
Yeah, the support pool actually got hit pretty hard here, but Bard is still available, and he's a pretty good Bard player, Moore. Of course, won't have a bad matchup with the Braum available, but doesn't elect to go for it.
Bata has also played the champion a couple of times. It's possible for him to pick it up here. They're still looking for their bottom lane. Unless Trundle is going to be their pick-up choice for support. And their top laner or mid laner, it seems. As Swain is going to be picked up, as well as Lucian given on over towards Uzi.
So there you go. They get rid of probably the last worst, one of the last really bad matchups. I mean, you can still take Rumble into Trundle. I'm trying to think what else they could actually pick up there to really try and open up Lupa's lane.
It still has the possibility of being a mid lane Swain.
Yep, no, definitely. Xiaohu plays
times.
it. Yep. So it's probably going to be Trundle Lupa is just so dominant on the champion. I mean, that was a one game they picked up against SKT in the semi-finals of MSI as well. Lupa's played it terrifically throughout the entirety of the LPL. I don't expect that to go into the support position.
It's his most played champion as well.
Yeah, it's not even a Mata champion really. So
Mata hasn't even played it so far. So probably going to be top lane Trundle.
I love when you reaffirm, because I haven't got the stats in front of me, but he does. So I'm sitting here trying to search them every bank, and he's sitting there ticking them off. It feels good when that happens.
Well, I tried to do that last game, and they threw a Z into it.
Yep.
So it was Moore's first Trundle game last game. As Kassadin's going to be the lock-in here for Newbee on blue side. For the third time today, we're going to see a blind pick Kassadin. And Irelia is the champion of choice for V.
It's not necessarily blind. I mean, you know that it is going to probably be the Swain there for all the reasons that we listed, as they probably lock in something else. But I'm feeling it.
Here it comes.
Bard. Here we go.
Here comes the last pick Zed just to throw us off again. Put Swain top. Trundle goes into the support position. Give Dade a piece of his own medicine. There's another bold prediction from Spawn. Might be proven right.
Nah, that one wasn't as bold.
They're still waiting for the final pickup here. RNG, it should be a support champion unless they throw a spanner into the works the same way Newbee did last game. And it is going to be the Nami lock-in coming in for RNG.
And, you know, similar flavor of the Bard, but, you know, a little bit more healthily sustained in lane. And that it is going to be a hard lane to go up against because Thresh Jhin really does have a really nice all-in. And we're going to see double Thunderlords. As I said, Jin's going to engage on 2 bullets. Thresh is just going to get in there with the Flay, with the Death Sentence, and really put in work. So Mata has his laning experience cut out for him if he's going to be able to save Uzi this time.
Seems like when I cast for you, Spawn, at least once a day on red side, everybody just picks in their champion order.
It's nice, isn't it? It's kind of therapeutic.
Well, they've locked in their champions here. Dade's going to be taking that Kassadin into Xiaohu's Swain this game. It's going to be an interesting matchup to see how it pans out.
And Dade's picked Kassadin a couple of times this year. And hasn't really done well with it, I don't think. I remember he took it into Rookie's Twist. No, that was Fizz into Rookie's Twisted Fate.
He's picked it up 2 other times here.
Yeah, so, and he really has struggled a couple of times. Actually, played it once against EDG. They won that game, so he's 1-1. But want to see whether he does fall down hard in the early game as he did in those sets.
Well, let's see what Xiaohu can do here as we head into game number 3 between Newbee and RNG. We are on to Summoner's Rift here for the 3rd and final game between Newbee and RNG. The series is tied up 1-1 after a very scrappy game number 2 came out from Newbee.
Everyone's storming onto Summoner's Rift. No Starfire Kassadin to be seen.
Unlucky. Still a good Kassadin skin though. Probably one of the better Kassadin skins coming onto the Rift here today.
Stop, you. It's actually going to be a Deathfire touch.
Happy changing things up. Not opting for the extra laning dominance with the Thunderlords.
And actually a grasp on Looper as well, so no further battle. Doesn't want to go toe-to-toe early with V. More than happy to just sustain throughout the early stages. Of course, grasp gets much better as the game progresses. Further's, I'm going to say better in the early game.
It does look like we could potentially get standard lanes again here. Actually, no. Newbee going to be sending Irelia down to the bottom side of the map, so they're opting for a lane swap with Jhin and Thresh. Could be why they've gone for the Deathfire touch as well.
Yeah, potentially, you know, no laning phase coming out. Trying to open up the map. They have double teleport. Actually, both teams do here. And that means they will isolate mid lane, so we'll see whether Dade can actually stay relevant in this or whether Xiaohu is going to be able to bully him around.
Xiaohu's already been a little bit aggressive here, right before minions even spawn, running up towards Dade.
Was cheeky. Threw the E out.
Didn't get too much done. Looper, meanwhile, is going to try and farm out the rest of these melee minions before the top lane duo get up here.
Run!
HappyY do get up there. They're going to be able to zone him out quite nicely. Actually, Looper taking a lot of damage there. No hook coming out from Mor. Start with his Flay, I believe.
Has to run the long way around, so he gets all 3 versus the 2 of V. So slight early game lead right now to Royal Never Give Up.
Very slight, indeed.
The slightest. And, you know, actually cheeky here from mlxg. He skips red buff, but as soon as he sees that the Thresh has rejoined, once again, very dangerous to leave Jhin by himself in these lanes. They go back to the red buff, and right now it looks like it's going to be a swap back. RNG special.
RNG seems like they want the standard lanes here, but admittedly, Newbee did the exact same thing. But for now, Xiaohu is getting jumped on here as Dade's moving to the mid lane. So is mlxg. Flashes straight on top towards Swift. Takes a lot of damage in return. But they do get 2 summoner spells out of both the Nidalee and the Kassadin.
Yeah, they certainly do. Both lanes are pushing back as well in favor of the top lane as Looper's going to beat him there by just a little bit to be able to trim some CS. V's not going to get any once again, it looks like. So, you know, it's the small advantages, the smallest of advantages going in favor of RNG. Tiny. What other word have you got for it?
You put me in the spot. I can't do this.
He's gone. Spawn wins round number 1. We'll play this game throughout the rest of tonight's broadcast.
Oh, no. Who can English better?
That's a bad game for us to play, my friend. A horrible game.
Certainly is.
So Lupa gets 7 CS, actually.
That's a little bit more significant.
Yeah, so now he's going to be able to join the top lane. We already mentioned that, you know, it's just Lucian has such a much better push than what Jhin does in the earlier stage of the game. So the lane swap already a little bit easier for Royal.
xiaohu was able to hold on to his flash during the gank that came out from Swift earlier, so he's been able to put a lot of pressure down towards dade in this mid lane.
And the lane now pushing back against dade. So xiaohu just going to trim it as much as possible. In goes mlxg, a little bit too early.
Looking to be aggressive there. Doesn't have his flash, so can't just jump on top of dade there. Opted to burn his flash to trade it for Swift's. So now you do see Lupa head up to the top lane. Saved his teleport, opted not to teleport down to lane. So did V. So 3 members of both teams now going to be working on the outer turret too after an interesting lane swap that went back and forth.
Yeah, but V's been there for the entirety of the time, whereas Lupa's only just joined, and you can see that lane's probably going to fall at a relatively equal time. Swift now has to help dade push out here.
And here comes mlxg. Will be able to get it locked down on towards dade if he's close enough. The never move was enough to lock down dade for a significant amount of time. mlxg just not fast enough to get to it.
Yeah, just not able to get there. But once again, they shove dade back in underneath the turret. So if you go back, you're going to miss farm, son. He still has a teleport available, but they are continuing to bully the mid laner of Newbee. And we already said he's prone to fall behind in these lanes.
You see both of
xiaohu being a real pain right now.
Throws down the laser bird. Is able to stop him from going back to base. He's still doing it. Gets the never move as well. Poor dade. Trying to cheek his back in there. It's just not working.
That's why you just walk further back the first time. I mean, it would have prompted the hard shove to come out of xiaohu, but you're going to miss experience already. Puts him down about 11 CS. Can teleport back into lane, but it's reversing against him. You might as well walk.
He's going to do just that, try and save his teleport for a rainy day. We saw both top laners pick up the exclusive gold from the tower, where this AD carries the support left as it was going down. And they're going to see Newbee send both Jhin and Thresh back up towards the top side of the map. So still trying to reverse the lane swap coming in. Lucian and Nami still down the bottom side for RNG.
One more time, they're actually probably going to have Swift join this lane swap because Lucian is significantly ahead in tempo. You can see that dade trying to stack the wave as slowly as possible. Wants people well and truly committed to the lane swap before he gets it reversing hard into the turret. xiaohu now equaling out the wave a little bit for him.
The outer turrets on the side lanes are now going to fall down here. As RNG are working on the bottom lane outer turret. Newbee on the flip side looking to try and take down the top lane outer turret.
But once again, look how late Lupa gets to join all of the solo experience going over to Uzi. So he's a level in the clear. And it's just more beneficial to split farm and experience in solos. So, you know, once again, the tiniest of advantages going over to RNG. Mid lane going in their favor, the side lane's going in their favor, but advantages nonetheless.
dade trying to do what he can to farm underneath the turret here from the pressure coming up from both Mata and xiaohu.
That's how much advantage they have in tempo. I mean, they're willing to send their support into the mid lane to really help bully out, and they still get the turret at the exact same time. But once again, just deny a couple of CS away from the Kassadin and make his life a little bit miserable.
We'll have to see where they send their AD carrying supports here for now. As Lucian's actually heading up towards the top side of the map. xiaohu's still being rather aggressive. dade tries to rift wall back in. Jhin's heading down to the bottom side, so they're still avoiding each other in these lanes despite the outer turrets falling down.
And I actually really like dade's itemization in this because, you know, he's got the corrupting potion, he's got the dark seal. mlxg now looking for Swift.
He's trying to take down this red buff. He's able to get it. Swift does not have his flash up just yet. Now has it. Able to get out of there, but Uzi's there. Going to pick up first blood and a red buff for this Lucian.
And look at the voice of Uzi on the team. 9 times out of 10, mlxg would have taken that kill if Lucian was still on the team. But with Uzi, calls him off, grabs a red buff for himself, now is in a lane that is pushing back towards him. And he's going to make Irelia very miserable up there. So just another one of these advantages going across to the RNG lineup.
And Uzi, he's not pushing this wave out just yet. Probably will. as Marta heads up to the top side of the map. Try and make the use of this advantage he's picked up for himself. Has that serrated Dirk, so does Happy on the Jhin. And both of them picked up a call. With that first blood, we have to see what Uzi decides to pick up next. RNG with 1 kill are 1,000 gold ahead of Newbee.
Yeah, exactly right. They're just going to be able to use that as well now to stack up a wave nice and deep. They're actually trying to respond here by sending over the duo lane to repel the turret siege, but it's still 4 members from the side of RNG that have joined the push.
Swift going to do his best to try and counter jungle even further, even after what just happened to him when he was inside of RNG's jungle.
But
Gets the blue off away.
This is a game where Swift actually isn't ahead in jungle camps as a Nidalee, which you would definitely expect to be the case.
Up against the Rek'Sai. Still farms well, mlxg. Well, Nidalee is known as one of the superior farmers in the jungle.
Nidalee's the best farmer in the jungle, still. She still is a pretty quick jungler.
She's going for Mountain Dragon now. Might have to jump out of that pit.
Yeah,
Takes a little bit of damage.
That was gutsy. Ambitious, we'll use.
Doesn't get it. And they're still rotating around this map here. Now V's on the bottom side of the map. Happy's gone to the top side. They're just avoiding each other for as long as possible.
Well, there's actually 2 really deep freezes, and that actually opens up dade, because he hasn't got the wave clear at this stage of the game. And they should be able to just shove him in. Actually looks like RNG want the dragon now.
Moving towards it. It is a Mountain Dragon. Uzi tags it with mlxg.
I think that's a little bit of a misstep. I think they can siege into dade, and there's really no response because there is such limited wave clear on Newbee right now.
And then moving down to the bottom side instead to try and stop this freeze, it seems. Looper is already working on it. Might be able to get a good chunk of damage on this tower, in fact.
It certainly looks to be the case. No, they back away. So they break the freeze on bottom side. Top side still is a little bit frozen, but they're going to pick up the dragon anyway. So strange comms coming out of RNG right now. But they grab an objective off the map.
mlxg working on that dragon. Rest of the team is going to move down now. So Mountain Dragon is going to fall to RNG unless we see a Miracle Steel come out from somewhere.
There's no one on the screen.
Hence Miracle. Mountain Dragon does fall. We'll have to see what does spawn next. It's going to be... I give up.
Somehow I think that Newbee going to see that and cuss a little bit as well because Rift Emerald's just reset on him. Nothing is going in their favor today.
Mutual ejectors just not in their RNG right now for Newbee.
And it actually is going to be the Swain potentially going over, looking to challenge. There's a big creep wave there. Actually, we'll pull out.
If they saw Thresh, they'd know Happy is alone down in this bottom lane. But they're just going to push the wave in towards the turret, get that to reset the creep wave. Nidalee does pick up the Rift Herald.
All right, so the Rift has, the map has calmed down a little bit right now. RNG still have their advantage, but it's definitely not as much as it was in game number 1. Now xiaohu.
Curtain Core is going to be coming out here. Misses the first. xiaohu just...
Yeah, Dade's got about as much faith as we do. As now Happy.
Might have actually just been interrupted there by Marta. No stamina spells burnt.
Well, Dade was out of there before the first bullet was even thrown. I mean, Happy has not got the best percentage with these bullets so far, Fish. And he was like, nah, save them. We're all right. But credit to the mid laner of Newbee, has only fallen down about 10 CS, so has done a relatively good job after all the attention that went in there early.
It's kind of where you expect a Kassadin to be after a dominant laning phase that he could just flat out die to. So 10 to 20 CS, something that he definitely can crawl back from later on in the match, but still only sitting on that Catalyst, whereas Rod of Age is already picked up by xiaohu here, so going to be stacking that one a little bit earlier in the mid lane. Rek'Sai has picked up that Cinderhulk, so already a pretty tanky champion now, using ultimate to get deep into enemy territory. Flash forward from xiaohu, looking for Happy there. Doesn't get the Never move down as 2 flashes going to be burnt by the bottom lane duo.
Yeah, xiaohu flashes in and gets everyone to flash in response. They just clear out. They're going to be able to challenge one more time for a red buff, although this time it looks like the support wants back in.
Going to be taken away by mlxg there, but teleports immediately coming in for Newbee's lineup. Happy going to try and chase this. Rek'Sai, Swift is on the backside of this too. Dade finishes the teleport there and joins in and does absolutely nothing.
Well, he was probably like, he's going to grab some farm pretty quickly in the mid lane anyway, so it's not a horrible teleport. But yeah, it is a summoner spell burnt for absolutely no avail right now. Looper continues to shove out. Everything really going in RNG's favor. I mean, it's early days. A little bit cheeky here.
As Happy going to get jumped on now. Uzi tries to find those last few auto attacks. Still moving aggressively forward, but the Dark Passage is going to save him there. As the Kernicle comes out this time, hitting Mata with 2. Third one going to hit him too. Fourth one, not quite.
I hate to break it to you. Mata actually just hit himself because he was shooting at the creep wave. And Mata just stood behind them, Fish. Happy in my... Like, that's a miss in my book, merely.
They're looking for Looper now. They just turns it straight back around onto V. Pops the Subjugate. He is not afraid of nobody right now. Is mlxg going to get jumped on as well by Dade. Does get the Gromp camp away.
And it is going to be Newbee just trying to push out these lanes, trying to get some CS back in their favor. You feel like, once again, that the Nidalee just hasn't been able to have any early game impact. And xiaohu continuing to push in, continuing to pressure Dade's Kassadin. And they're just looking for these team fight victories that they've been able to find so often, RNG.
RNG still have a nice 1,000 gold lead from themselves, what they gathered from the early lane swaps. And they're continuing to be the aggressors on Summoner's Rift right now. Well, Newbee, they're not out of this one just yet. They actually found Mata here, forced to flash over the wall, but Dade just follows, gets exhausted, never move.
He's
not
going to have
connect.
the Rip Walk back available. He just goes back over.
So finds the assassination kill, pulls back the kills for Newbee.
Yeah, gets a free one there. Mata rotating a little bit too aggressively into the enemy jungle. Does get caught out. You should always ward with your partner.
Dade waiting for his Rift Walk to come off cooldown. And
I
wait
think
for the
he
mana
was waiting to
restore.
see whether mlxg would go aggressive onto him because he had Swift waiting over the wall, trying to bait a little bit. It was not going to be.
And Zvi now going to get spotted out by mlxg. Ball gets placed inside the brush. mlxg going for the knock-up. Good stun comes out from V. Now he's turning this one around. mlxg has to be a little bit careful. Takes a couple of slaps to the face and just walks out of the jungle.
Yeah, he walks it off. Not really all that much doing there. But now all of a sudden they're into xiaohu.
He's got to be a little bit careful. Pops the bird form to try and heal up as much as possible. Swiftward's none of this anymore. The Birdman's just running straight at them. Going to get locked down by Jhin though. Curtain does come out. Moore's now down here as well. Trying to get some positional advantage. But Dade's taking so much damage just with the Birdman himself. Moore now in a little bit of a sticky situation as Looper comes in too. mlxg's going to help out to pick up the first kill for the Trundle. And that's just turned around disastrously as Happy's now jumped on by Uzi, puts down the culling, will get blocked out, but he's still going to find the kill on towards Dade. Happy has to run. Praise Seeker not going to be enough, but Subjugate just deletes it from the map. Swoop has to keep running now as V even has to flash over the wall away from mlxg and Looper, but they're not done yet, Swan. They're just going to keep chasing. Irelia going to be the next one to fall unless she can get a flash out. Tries to run for her dear life, but just gets bit to death by Looper.
And the basic rule of League of Legends, if you do not have a Morellonomicon or... What's the other one called?
The Ignite?
No.
No,
it's
the
an item.
Yeah. Execution is calling.
Execution is calling. Do not gank a level 11 Swain because he's just impossible to kill. And you see that he just turns it around. xiaohu sits in the middle of him for so long and goes absolutely nowhere.
Puts on his dancing shoe, just runs around them.
It didn't even matter. He could have face tanked the team. And they just can't take him out. And they're able to pick up the mid lane turret and 3 kills there. It's just opened the map wide open.
Puts them firmly in the lead as well. They're 4,000 gold up against Newbee. Deja vu the game number 1 where they were 5-1 and they were 6,000 gold up. RNG just taking decisive control of this game.
So you've won round 2, by the way. You got Executioner's Calling. I'll give you that one. But you know, Dragon back available. It is the Infernal, and that was a perfect time for RNG to actually win a team fight. They'll go back. They'll pick up some fairly decent items for themselves. They still have a teleport on xiaohu to go in towards the top lane and create a split pushing pressure. And there's not really all that much that Newbee can do right now, although they are looking for the pick as people try and approach the pit.
V does have a teleport as well, so he's sent up to the top lane to try and deal with this Swain for now. But like you mentioned, Infernal Dragon has spawned here and looks like RNG are already on top of that pit trying to take it down. No, they back off. Oh no, they're still there. I can't see things very well.
You can't. They've started it. It's fallen down.
Unless we see a steel key come out from Swift. Doesn't go over the wall. Mountain Dragon's going to be spawning next.
Yep, so the Volcanoes combo well and truly set in here. They go in on Uzi.
Wow, that was aggressive from Moore. Gets a hook on towards a minion and decides to go really aggressive there. There's a tidal wave coming out from Nami though, trying to lock them down. Bubble going to connect on top of Swift too. Here comes the Birdman himself as xiaohu's moving straight into the back lines. They force them away for now.
Yeah, zone them all away from the turret. They were looking for the flay into the Jhin stun, but they weren't able to get it. So a little bit unfortunate there. And once again, mlxg holds the red buff for Uzi. So it looks like this RNG lineup well and truly on the same page and continuing to pressure Newbee around.
Certainly are. As you can take a look at the items quickly here. Rek'Sai going for the Tiamat next, so Titanic Hydra coming up from mlxg.
Yeah, wanting to make sure that they have a 1-3-1 split push pressure at all times. Xiaohu will be needed for wave clear at a certain point in this game.
Even Looper does the Tiamat too.
Looper's not really as surprising.
No.
Yep, good. Glad we agree.
Probably going to go for the Ravenous Hydra or the Titanic later on.
No, I agree. Ravenous Hydra will be picked up by Looper's Trundle at some point in this game, as it has in every other Trundle game.
Unless you're Marin. And V now trying to go toe-to-toe against Xiaohu here. Doesn't have his Trinity Force completed just yet. He's trying to just sustain underneath the turret and farm up as much as possible.
Yeah, and Xiaohu was just kind of sick of the lane, sitting there. As it's actually Swift that picks that one up.
Luden's Echo doing good. Able to save his own blue buff, but he just made the best of a worst-case scenario right now. As RNG still in complete control of this game. They're just taking their time, it seems.
And actually going towards further scaling builds. I mean, Swift has stuck it out. He's still going roller, not going something like a bridging item like a Ryze Crystal Scepter, although it is a lot more expensive right now. And really, this game needs to go for 35-40 minutes if Newbee have any way in.
Oh, Rek'Sai using his ultimate aggressively
Teleport.
there. Teleport's coming to the bottom side of the map. Swift and Dade both have to try and run away because Marta is zoning in on them with that Nami trying to chase them down. Teleport actually coming to get the Kassadin out of there, but Swift now in trouble, gets exhausted and knocked up by the tidal wave. He's gone. Dade has to be a little bit careful now as he tries to go aggressive.
That was gorgeous play out of Marta, able to interrupt the pounce, guarantees no reset in there. Also hits the bubble afterwards, just changes the CC. There's absolutely nothing Swift can do, and they pick up a kill. Also trade teleports, important to note. So global map advantage probably over to RNG right now because mlxg's ulti will be available a little bit quicker. See whether they go towards something like a Baron to try and set up another pressure point in this map.
On top of that, Xiaohu, he now has the Spirit Visage as well. And there's no grievous wounds that will be coming out from Newbee's lineup except for the Ignite from Maul for now.
And you know, there's really not a good person to be able to pick it up. I mean, Jhin doesn't really auto-attack everyone in the team fight. Probably would hit him. It's only 800 gold for the Executioner's Calling. Can maybe make a case for... No, V's like really far behind. He doesn't want to grab one either. So there's honestly nothing that they can do about this Swain at this stage of the game. He has to be ignited every single team fight and try to burst down.
Even Dade here looking towards an Abyssal Scepter, it seems. Could still go for Merylnomicon, but highly unlikely.
Yep, there's the Abyssal.
On the flip side, Uzi's picked up his Yoma's Ghostblade and Black Cleaver on the Lucian. So lots of armor penetration coming out from Lucian. Titanic Hydra has been completed by mlxg.
Xiaohu's honestly impossible to deal with right now. There is no one to kill the Swain.
He's a big bird man. It's going to be difficult. Newbee just seems like they're holding on here. 2 minutes until the next dragon spawns. It's going to be another mountain dragon. Definitely spawning in favor of RNG at the moment if they can continue to contest the dragon buffs.
But how long can Newbee hold on for? Because really the Trundle is a huge pressure in that bottom lane. He's got a lot of armor going towards what will be a Spirit Visage next. There's no one that can really answer his split push. Xiaohu, as we already keep mentioning, is obnoxiously big at this stage of the game.
Yep.
They've got better global presence. Their 80 carry is ahead. There's honestly nothing really that Newbee can wait towards.
V actually taking a lot of damage there from the Laser Bird and the Never Move. Xiaohu looking to try and dive from Swift. Comes straight back up there, but doesn't want a piece of this either.
And all of a sudden, pressure point opened on the map. Xiaohu wins a 1v1. He's going to be able to shove into this turret incredibly quickly.
Good wave play. Xiaohu's able to get some good damage down towards this turret. Swift actually has to back away as well as here comes Marta and mlxg. Never Move went down. Trying to root up the Irelia, but can't find it.
And all of a sudden, Uzi's in.
It's a flash forward coming in from mlxg, but the culling will come out and kill him halfway through that dark passage.
Fantastic communication between Uzi and mlxg. Immediately, the flash Umbaro knocks him up, and it's enough time for Uzi to be able to pick up the kill. And it looks like they want the Baron.
No smite coming out from Newbee here as Deft is still dead, and RNG just teleports straight forward. V might have to face check on this one. Tidal Wave went in the wrong direction. Finds Happy as he goes into his ultimate there. And they got their eyes straight set on towards the Baron now.
Yeah, Mata went for the 2-for-1 special, throws the Tidal Wave at the AD carry, and also goes and zones away V. That means that Baron is all but free right now for RNG. This is a much cleaner game 3.
No contest coming out from Newbee here to just give up that major objective. Uzi even leaves his teammates. He heads up towards the top side to try and duke it out with V. RNG just looking like they had the same form from game number 1 here as they headed to the 3rd set of today.
Yeah, exactly right. They've also just had a Mountain Drake respawn, so they can get their shop in, go back, look to have even more pressure around this map as they pick up their 3rd Dragon of the game. And Swift had a horrible game 1, much better performance in game 2 on a ganking jungler like Elise, goes back to a farming jungler in game 3, and he's just having a similar disappointing performance.
Certainly has so far. Meanwhile, Dade down this bottom lane. He's 1-1 on this Kassadin. Survived laning phase well, but he's being abused right now as he's 50 CS behind the Swain, and now Lupus is going to jump all over him. There's nothing much the Kassadin can do here.
The map really collapsed around Dade, however. He did survive the hard part of the game, and just when he was looking to get into scaling, I mean, Happy kept dying.
Aggressive from Uzi, flashes forward for Happy, forced him to use the heal there. Now he's in a little bit of trouble as the ultimate's going to come out for Happy in return. V's going to be the one that picks up that kill.
All right, that's a silly play from Uzi. He goes in aggressively, nearly gets a kill, costs him his life. We'll be able to pick up some side lane turrets here as Lupa actually commits to the bottom split push.
Yeah, they get Mountain Dragon as well. Looks like Lupa might be able to take down the top lane out of 2.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be xiaohu doing that.
xiaohu.
Come on, mate. That's 2 to me. But, you know, even though Uzi dies, they still grab 3 objectives across the map, so RNG firmly in control.
8,000 goal lead now. Very, very similar to game number 1 for RNG. Without the dramatic ace halfway through the game from Newbee. Which still has the potential to happen here. But RNG have proven once they get a
You're
big
an
lead.
optimistic man. xiaohu's just gone back and grabbed himself a Zhonya's Hourglass. I honestly think 5 members can hit him and he won't die.
No Executioner calling, no Melonomicon. It might be the next item being picked up here by Dade. Sitting on the
It's going to be a Zhonya's.
Also possible. And it probably will be as well. They're really relying on Moore's Ignite here, but it just seems like it's not enough. As RNG just brute forced their way through the final outer turret with the Baron buff.
And it's a consistent healing reduction that you need. That's why Morello or Execution is calling is just much better. As Happy caught out again.
Being really aggressive coming in from Uzi there. This time not flashing forward because that is still down. But the Cunning chips V on the back half of that fight. Here comes the Curtain Call. Lands a couple of shots on towards Lupa, who's actually chain CC'd here. Takes a lot of damage, but Subjugate keeps him nice and healthy. Lots of damage back down towards the inhibitor turret. xiaohu's just in amongst all 5 members of Newbee. They want nothing to do with him.
They don't even want to hit him. It's just a waste of time. And they break open the base, kick in the front door. And they're going to take the inhibitor with it. mlxg can just ult back, and xiaohu, he's just walking through the base.
He's on the wrong side of the wall, but he doesn't really care right now. Gets topped up quite nicely by Mata there with the heal, now moving towards the top lane inhibitor turret. The rest of RNG just brute forcing their way through. V gonna get the stun down towards xiaohu. He gets locked down by Happy, just turns to the bird form. He's starting to heal up so much. Happy gonna get rooted by the Never Move. He's gonna get taken down before he can take the Dark Passage. Even V is forced to try and jump away from the team fight. Inhibitor will fall again for RNG. They're looking to just try and close this game, it might be.
And honestly, there is just nothing that Newbee can do because xiaohu has been unkillable the entire game.
Well, they're on the base. V's going to get taken down here. Uzi finds that first kill. Dade in a bit of a sticky spot. Has to roof walk back towards the fountain. The first Nexus turrets are going to fall down. RNG looking to try and close out this series here as they're on to the Nexus. Uzi is just zoning them away. There is nothing that Newbee can do anymore as xiaohu goes to the stasis as they pick up game number 3 between RNG and Newbee.
And really talk about a game snowballed from one lane. They continually get into the Kassadin lane, set him behind. It means that there's no 1-3-1 split push pressure at all. xiaohu then just becomes a monster on Swain. I mean, Uzi had some aggressive play. As Mata and Dade actually share a hug there. He feels a little bit bad because Dade got bullied a little bit in that game.
You certainly did. It was a good fight coming out from Newbee in game number 2, but game 1 and 3 was just a different story for RNG.
Game number 2, they handily won. I mean, the Z pick was completely blindsided the RNG lineup. It blindsided us here on the desk.
Yep.
And I think that going into game 3, RNG just went back.